no, this was when you were 12? 11, 12?
11.
Okay.
So getting tired at a sleepover was not normal.
No, you guys want to stay. Usually, I know the rule of my daughter is, the first person sleeping is kind of a nerd. You want to say, yeah, right.
Exactly.
And you're like, I don't want to be that first person, but I have a really bad headache.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I was, the headache was continuing, and so I was in contact with my mom, and she knew that I was kind of getting tired and was on the verge of becoming able to come home, and I wanted to kind of come home later. And so my mom was coming out to get me, and I had a massive headache, and then the massive headache caused me to pass out. So my mom continued driving, and didn't expect, she just didn't let it get to her.
Pass the mic with your mom for 1 second. So Susan, you get the call, and I have to imagine it's late. You're set for the night. And at that time, you're like more inconvenience than anything else. I mean, he's thinking, it's a headache.
I had been talking with her just about every hour that evening, so I knew that she probably wasn't going to stay.
Okay.
And my whole thing was, if you can call before 10, that would be great. If not, I'll come at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So actually, when I was speaking to her the last time, she started screaming on the phone, saying, "Hurry, I feel like my head's exploding."
Oh my God.
And then she just went quiet. So I was like, okay. And I continued driving, and by the time I got there, her friend had already called me back saying, "Susan, where are you?" And I was like, "Is Kendall still hysterical? What's going on?" And she said, "No, she's almost looks like she's sleeping, but she's holding her head and moaning, and my mom's with her." And I was like, "Okay, sweetie," I'm like 5 minutes away. And so as soon as I got there, we tried to revive her. She was still, breathing and all of that. I could remember enough from Girl Scouts to at least look for basic things.
Sure.
And then it became clear something's up. We didn't know what.
Where's
and we called 911.
Where's your panic scale at this point?
Still maybe at a 5.
Okay, you're trying to keep it together. You got business.
Yeah,
to take care of.
I just went into, okay, let's get home.
Now, and please take this the right way, because, I'm a mom too, and sometimes you're like, okay, being dramatic. Was there a little bit of that there, wondering, okay, is she just upset, and now once they get upset, they get hysterical, and then sometimes that makes it seem bigger than what it is?
Initially, when I was on the phone with her, yes.
That's what you thought, sure.
Yes.
And that's a completely normal reaction.
Sure.
Yes, and there was a
Absolutely.
part of me, because she had called me from like an overnight camp with a headache and really hysterical too.
Right.
So, there was a part of me that was just like, she's overwhelmed and like a toddler.
Yeah.
Just need to get home and
Yeah.
take a break. And then once I got there, I was like, yeah, this isn't that.
So Kendall, when do we get to the point of the story where you don't remember anything?
We're there, right?
Yeah, is this
Yeah.
now? This is basically all okay afterthought.
The last thing I remember from that night is we took a walk early on. It was before it got dark. We were, walking. My friend lived on a golf course, so we were walking the golf course, and so that's kind of the last thing I remember. Was walking that golf course and still having fun, but feeling the headache coming on, and that's the last thing I remember.
Now, you were rushed by ambulance, and it wasn't the cheetah ambulance. Have you been inside that yet? Have you got a chance to look at that?
No, we just heard about it when we were driving here.
Yeah, so it's out front of the hospital, and you'll have to go check that out, because had you been awake, it would have made a world of difference on how you felt. It is so cool in there. But you're being rushed by the ambulance to the hospital, right? So again, we need to move on, because you're out, right? They're
Yeah.
reviving you in the ambulance?
You're in the emergency room. Let's fast forward to that. And someone runs up to you and says, "We have to basically drill into your daughter's skull, pressure right here, right now."
Once we had been rerouted from another local hospital, and they said, based on her symptoms, take her right over to Children's. And all I can say is thank God that happened. There would not have been time. Because when she was in the emergency room here, we met with, they called in a neurosurgeon who just happened to be here getting out of surgery.
Wow.
At midnight on Friday. And they called him in to consult, and my husband and his father, the 3 of us were there, prepping her for the OR, and he's like, there's not time for the OR,
Oh, man.
Wow.
and asked us to sign the consent form. Do you want to? So he's asked us to sign that, and we just all looked at each other, and we were like, we don't know these people, but at that point, all you can do is trust. I mean, she was passed out. Jim could see based on the pressure that he knew, because he has
Right.
medical background, that this was serious, and we just kind of leapt and trusted. And I can say that all the staff that was in that room, they all knew how serious it was, but they were incredibly calm as they moved around and took care of things. Never once did I get a sense that this is an out-of-control situation.
Right.
I trusted that he knew what he was doing, the entire team knew what they were doing, and that really helped.
And that's it's so huge. I mean, you're on the fringe of absolute freak out, and everybody here is so trained to handle just that. I mean, this is the most important thing in all of our life. This is our biggest job is our children, making sure that they're safe. And everybody who works at this hospital is handpicked because they know how to deal with us when we are, really about to freak out and need to be able to be strong. And that confidence in them is sometimes the most important part of getting through all this.
Yes, without a doubt, because literally we've handed over the life of our child to strangers.
Yeah.
And at that point, how they conducted themselves really helped us.
Well, and to be graphic, they're drilling in her head right there.
Yes.
They're drilling in her head.
In the emergency
Right
room.
there in the emergency room. I mean, I think that's the scariest sounding thing ever. You
And
know?
what we learned later is that as soon as we signed the papers and said whispered our goodbyes to her and that we would be back, and as soon as we left the room, she coded. And there was not a moment to spare.
That's a big statement.
I wasn't aware of that. Wow. When did you find that out?
We found that out actually after another brain surgery about a week and a half later, because we were talking with the neurosurgeons, and I said, well, she's come a long way. Are you happy with her progress? And he said, well, you couldn't have gotten much worse than that first night. And then that's when he told us. He did not tell us that night.
So Kendall, what did they find? What was going on? Why did you have headaches? Why did you basically really die for a second? I mean, honestly, right? I mean,
Well, the headaches, we found out that week before the massive headache at the sleepover, they think were leaks from my AVM that I was born with.
okay. And if somebody doesn't know what AVM is,
Yeah, so it's like a tangle of blood vessels in your brain that you're born with.
Okay.
So, and I didn't know it was there because I didn't have a CAT scan or MRI beforehand.
right.
So we didn't know until it bled. But the headaches leading up to the bleed, they think were leaks that that the AVM, the blood was leaking out.
Mhm.
So and then it pretty much like exploded, so it burst.
Oh, now,
So
Kendall, you're 14 now. This happened when you were 11. My daughter's 12 now. I know she's really into being a girl. Doing her hair, talking to her girlfriends, texting like a mad woman. I know, obviously, the doctors, the nurses, the ER technicians, so important in your recovery, but you're also a girl, and they had to take off some of your hair, and there's scars on your head. And as a girl, you're like, come on. And share how incredibly special the positive imaging department here is at the American Family Children's Hospital, because they make you feel like a girl again.
yeah, it was amazing. That day I got to fully bathe. I got to wash my hair for the first time in 3 weeks, and then I got to go down to the image center, and they trimmed my hair, they cut it, and because it was shaved, they worked with it so it looked like it looked good, and so it was awesome to get that done, and then I got my nails done that day, so it was awesome to get out of the room and to feel like a girl again,
Yeah.
to feel kind of pampered, and yeah.
Well, you look great now. Beautiful head of hair. Why don't you go over and wish mom happy?
just ask you a couple of questions? Because we are talking about your big sister, and we all know big sisters can be a major pain in the butt, right?
Yeah.
But there must have been a time where you were a little worried about your major pain in the butt. Yeah. How did this place help you deal with that?
Well, like the first time that I was like getting ready to go into the room to see her, Katie showed me like what all the machines sound like and stuff, and what she would look like and what the room would look like, and so that kind of calmed me down, but I was still kind of devastated when I saw her.
Sure.
And yeah, so, but what also helped it was the pet pals that I got to get away and kind of get my mind off of her and stuff, and just because I love dogs and
So
stuff.
yeah, explain what the Pet Pals is for someone who doesn't know.
It's where you can go and see dogs and you can pet them and hold them, and you can just kind of know their story about what happened to them and stuff, and some of them aren't normal dogs, like something happened to them too.
Oh, wow.
Like, there was this one dog that I really like, his name was Elvis. His tongue was kind of off to the side,
Right.
and so me and my mom asked, how does he drink, and the person there actually said it's when he drinks, it's pretty messy, but
Me too, by the way. Me too.
and so that made me feel a lot better.
So when someone gives their $15 a month, can you tell them how important it is? Because that's what that $15 a month pays for. It pays for Pet Pals. It pays for the extra attention of showing you what a room looks like, what your sister's going to look like. How important?
Positive
was
Imaging
that?
Center.
How important was that to you?
That was amazing. Just so I didn't really have to just think about her every second, just so I can kind of get away and think of something else, think of positive things, and sometimes it would like come up in my head and stuff, and she would be sad, but I knew that she was in good hands.
Carson, you should look at your sister and tell her you love her. Huh?
We're on a roll now. He shuts down.
Sometimes I can, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Not right now. Not right now.
So Carson, without it, you feel it would have been 1,000 times worse with
Yeah.
all that stuff, right?
Definitely.
So yeah, so we're thanking you for Carson right now
right.
for making that $15 a month pledge to be a champion. Carson, thank you. You really, the last time I saw him, I was like, Tony.
Yeah. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Kendall, it's great to see you again. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
You bet.
You